Adam Friedman, Rivals.com, here with one of the top players in the Rivals 250, Tristan Leigh, big offensive tackle out of Robinson High School in Fairfax, Virginia. You just announced your top five of Clemson, LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Ohio State. Let's talk about these schools first, and then we'll go into depth about a little bit more about your recruitment as a whole. Clemson made the list. Why did the Tigers continue to be one of the top contenders in your recruitment?
I would say, honestly, the Tigers, the consistency that they've had over the years, because they're coming back every single year, and they've shown good development in players I've seen, and they haven't had such a good pass with offensive linemen, but I feel like they're starting to get better at that with Jackson Carman and a few other guys like that. And the Clemson, I think, is interesting is they're one of the only schools that is really big on character. I know a lot of people say they are, but they're huge on character, and they won't offer guys just the characters. So, you're going to a school where you're going to play with a bunch of guys that are good character guys and just good people. So that's why they're big.
You visited there earlier this year, if I remember correctly. How big of a role did that visit play into their momentum and how it's carried them really through this extended recruiting dead period?
Oh, it was big because that was that I guess elite junior day that they said. There were a lot of guys there, and he basically Coach Sweeney and all those guys. They basically just gave us basically their pitch, and after that, it's kind of hard. It was hard not to even think about them as a contender. How it is, like I think like 5 or 6 guys committed on the spot, but. He kind of just gave us a pitch about how he sees things and how he'd incorporate each of us in his program. And that was very big for me. So, yeah, that definitely helped.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about LSU. It's a school that a lot of us in the media and guys who follow your recruitment think that those Tigers, the Bayou Bengals, might be your leader or one of the schools right at the top of your list. Why have they continued to have so much momentum in your recruitment?
I would say relationship, definitely, because I have a very honest relationship with Coach Craig and Coach Ogeron. And I look at the numbers too. They had most of their offense drafted last year. Like that's crazy. And also the atmosphere when I went to the game, it was unlike any other school. But yeah, and I feel like they're really gonna hop on that branding. That new thing, I feel like they're really going to hop on that first. So that's going to be huge. Not necessarily yet, but in the coming years, I feel like that'll be a big piece. So just relationships, and then the stage they're playing on is high level.
Right. Now, in the past, we've talked about how big that previous visit that you were there for, I think it was a game this past season, how well they did making you and your family feel so comfortable. How have they been able to do that and really carry that through this recruiting dead period?
It's definitely different because there's no in-person contact, but they've been checking on not just me, they check on my mom, my dad, even my uncles, like make sure everything's good with them. And you don't really see that a lot. You normally just see the parents. I just, you know what I'm saying? Or they're just checking on you. I think that's huge. But what is different is they're not necessarily just asking me about football or my recruiting. They're asking, like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff besides football, like really building relationships. So it's just like two guys talking. So.
Okay, sounds good. Let's move to Oklahoma, a school that we think has been picking up some momentum with you. The commitment of Caleb Williams certainly has brought a lot of players closer to the Sooners in terms of their recruitments. Has that been the same thing with you?
I would say I do have a good relationship with Caleb, and I mean, who wouldn't want to play? He's the best quarterback. So you want to play with guys who want to compete and will do whatever it takes to win. And Caleb is a guy like that, definitely. But I mean, that definitely, that's definitely open. But I do have a good relationship with Coach Riley and beating ball as well. And the interesting thing, what I really like about Oklahoma is Coach Riley is the head coach, but he's also the offensive coordinator. So he gets to pick his O-line coach. So you don't have to worry about a new coordinator coming in and change up the offense because he is the offensive coordinator. So that's huge with me with them. And then just the development, he knows how to develop linemen. He's had several great linemen like Orlando Brown, Cody Ford. Just he knows what he's doing. He's a good coach.
Sure. And I think out of these 5 schools, it's the only one you haven't visited in person.
Yeah.
What kind of things have you been able to do in terms of virtual visits, or are you guys planning one of those unofficial visits where you drive through campus? What's the plan there?
Um, I actually did a virtual tour with them for about an hour and a half, so I got a really good look at what it was. And it wasn't not only just a visit, like they're showing again like how I can be incorporated in the program. But my mom has talked about maybe driving through there, just looking at the school. But my hope is that the official visits open back up. So I mean, I could probably take one there.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's talk about Alabama. You visited there. I think it was last off season you were down there for a camp. How have things been going with the Crimson Tide and your relationship with those coaches?
Oh, very good. Me and Coach Flood talk frequently. We watch film. Also, Coach Saban's kind of gave me that pitch about what Alabama's really about, and that it was huge. And it's not even just a lot of people say they're just a football factory, stuff like that, but they actually incorporate a lot with education and like internships with their players. So I found that was good. And then you just gotta look at the numbers. Like Coach Flood, I think 10 out of the last 12 of his left tackles have been first round. So you can't ignore that stat. So he knows what he's doing.
Sorry. Now, the way they've developed those players, I know that's something that you said, has caught your eye. But what have they really put in front of you in terms of a plan for you once you get on campus, on the field, and off the field?
They said that they could see me as a guy that could play early because you think about it. He was saying a lot of people say they don't play people early, but the thing is, people do play early. They just get in their freshman year and then they're there for 3 years. That's why it seems like that. But they said they feel like I'm a guy. Once I get with the weight program and stuff like that, I could definitely get to play early. And he just talks about how this could be one of the best O-line classes that there's been in a recruiting class.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've got a couple of really good tackles already committed, J.C. Latham, Tommy
Right.
Brockermeyer. Do you think you still fit in well with that group?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not scared to compete. So I only think that would make all of us better. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. And the last school that we haven't talked about yet, Ohio State, a school that you've been very interested in pretty much since the first time I met you during, I think it was your sophomore year. What is it about the Buckeyes that keeps them in contention and just one of those schools that you pay a lot of attention to?
Just a winning tradition, really. Everything they do with a purpose and to win. Everybody is on board about it. Everyone there. And Coach Stud is one of the best in the business, if not the best, because he just knows it. He's such a technician, like it's insane. And I watch film with him a couple times a week. We watch my film, we watch their film, we watch Leo Collins, like all kinds of stuff. Then Coach Day is a good players coach as well. Like he really cares about the well-being of his players, and that's something you got to look out for because. You gotta make sure they're gonna look out for you as a man and as a player, and a student.
They've got an excellent recruiting class this year. They're hoping to add you to that group. Who are some of the guys you feel close with up there, and just who's doing a really good job recruiting you?
I talk with obviously Trey the most. We're both Virginia guys. We talk about how crazy that would be. I talk with Ben, Chrisman, Jalen. I think it's Johnson. I think Jalen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I talked with Jalen and Kyle also, McCord. They just – and Ben – I already said Ben. Yeah. So they just basically talked to me about how special the class would be, and they think I'm that missing piece. So that's what I hear from them a lot. So.
Sure. Okay. Now we've got this top 5. Obviously, you still want to do visits. That's what you've said in the past. Is that something that you still need to do before you end up committing? And kind of what's our timeline there? What are we looking at?
I say absolutely. If I can do the official visits, I'm absolutely going to. But I understand things are different. So I'm trying to do as much as I can with my mom and my family to gather enough information for if that is the case where we don't have official visits, I'll still be able to make my decision. So I'm hoping that we do, but if we don't, I feel like I'm preparing well for that.
Okay, cool. So potentially a decision without those official visits, but certainly would be helpful if they did happen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are some of the schools, or which schools, I should say, that you would really want to visit again before you make this decision, or if you can at all?
Just honestly, those five because I don't want. Honestly, those five because the reason I'm doing it is to make it an easier decision. And even if you might not have interest with schools you don't put in there, they're still gonna pitch and stuff like that. So I'm trying to have my main focus on these five schools. So that will probably be where my business would be if I have it.
Cool. Cool. Last question here, and then we'll get you out of here. How are you going to decide on between these five schools? I mean, you've got some great choices. You've been recruited for such a long time. How are you going to shake things out from here?
It's gonna be a very tough decision because I like all the schools for different reasons. Some for the same reasons. It's gonna be very tough, but at the end of the day, I feel like I'm just gonna know. I'm trusting that feeling. So I'm just like I said, I'm gonna do everything possible to find out as much as I know, and then I'll probably make some check box type of thing to really figure it out. But at the end of the day, it'll just be like what I'm feeling. So.
Okay. All right, very good. Top 30, top 40 player in the country, Tristan Leigh. Thanks so much for your time. Congrats on your top 5. We look forward to hearing more about your recruitment in the next few weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.